Well, we should be live now, Bob, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off just a second here until I get confirmation from our team that we're actually live. For those
Mhm.
of you who are joining us and listening in, welcome. We are going to be speaking with Bob Bryant today from Mission Canine Rescue, and I'm really excited about that. I'll be introducing him in just a little bit, and I will also be introducing Mission Canine. All right, I have the thumbs up now that we're good to go, Bob. So I'm going to move right into this. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Devin. I am the recruitment manager here at Boldly. And I want to talk a little bit first about why we're talking with Mission Canine today. It is our 10-year anniversary, if you've been following us, which is really big for us as a small business. And we looked for a nonprofit that resonates with our business because one of the things that we really wanted to do was to give back. Boldly is really big on kindness and positivity and giving back. And so Mission Canine Rescue stood out because we were just so moved by what they do. They support military and first responders and and we're dog lovers. They support dogs. So it just felt like a perfect match. Mission Canine Rescue is a nonprofit animal welfare group that provides assistance and support to working dogs worldwide. Their mission is focused on boarding, training, treating, rehabilitating working dogs to be adopted by a loving home. And they've been honored by ASPCA and Petco Foundation for the work that they do. So we're going to be talking more about what they do in just a minute. I'm going to let Bob, the expert, share it all. But I want to share first, Bob, what we've been doing to raise funds. So the first thing we did was we started with our 10-year anniversary t-shirts. I have one right here. So this was our new logo that we designed for our 10th anniversary.
Very
We
nice.
made t-shirts and other swag for our team. And then our team got to order free shirts, boldly donated the proceeds and matched the purchase order for Mission Canine. And then the second thing that we did, we involved the team a little bit more in this one. And we did a tagline contest, a t-shirt tagline contest. So we asked the team to create taglines for new swag, and we turned that those taglines into swag. I'm wearing one right now, the Live Boldly. We also have Unleash Your Talents, and we have Work Hard, Live Boldly as another one. And then the team members whose winning tagline we selected, they also received cash prizes. So far in all that we've done, we've raised a little over $5,000 for Mission Canine. And
Very nice. Thank you so much.
yes, sir, we're so excited about that. So now it's time. Let me introduce Bob. He's been holding out over there for long enough. And Bob is the Chief Technology Officer and co-founder of Mission Canine Rescue. He's also the president at Top Rank Commerce and specializes in credit card processing for e-commerce merchants. So, Bob, welcome, and thank you for
Thank you very much. Very nice to meet you, and we really appreciate Boldly doing this for us. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's our pleasure. I mean, we just love your mission and everything that you do. It really, like I said, resonates with us and our company values. So, given that, Bob, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and the work how you got caught up in the work with Mission Canine? What
Sure.
led you there?
Actually, unusual set of circumstances. I've been in sales all my life. I've been in merchant services since 2004. Service a lot of e-commerce merchants with their credit card processing needs. I was looking for large groups on Facebook that would be receptive to offering a good program that I had, and in offering that, we wanted to pay whoever did that residual income on the accounts that were produced. And I found the predecessor then of Mission Canine Rescue, two of my current partners, and a third party who was unable to continue an existing rescue working with military dogs. And we got along great. It worked well. We were able to make significant strides in the funding that they needed. And when their then executive director refused to do any advertising to raise more funds, I had to tell her that you have to ask for money. You have to sometimes spend some money to make some money. And she absolutely patently refused. And as a result, a few months later, she had to go get a job. So my partners reached out to me. They asked me if I would co-found the new organization. This was back in September, October of 2013. And I didn't think twice about it. I said, absolutely, because I'd fallen in love with what they did. I didn't know anything about military dogs at the time. If you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be rescuing military dogs, I would have told you were crazy. But you know, you never know. And now Here we are nearly 10 years later. We've brought home over 1,100 working dogs from every corner of the world. We've reunited over 550 with former military members that they served with, and we've touched thousands with veterinary care. So it's a good growing work, and we always have something to do. There's never a day where we don't have a dog that needs something.
That's amazing. I love it. You've been doing this for almost 10 years. You'll be celebrating your 10-year anniversary soon.
Right. That's right. We will.
Yeah.
And we've done quite well. And I feel like we've taken the donor's interest at heart in that we do not waste money. I don't know, perhaps you're going to mention this later, but I'll just mention now since we're talking about the organization. 88% of everything we raise goes directly to our work. You'll see a lot of nonprofit organizations at 55, 60, 70%. Where's the rest of it go? It's simple. It goes in their pockets or it goes into wasted advertising. I spend the 12% that remains out of every dollar to generate another 88 cents, and we try to do it prudently and effectively. And we always make sure that we get the best value for our donors' dollars that we possibly can. It's super important because there's too many nonprofits out there that waste donor funds, and we're not that nonprofit.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that and being so transparent about that.
Sure.
While you were talking, we got a comment here that just says, "Thank you for the work you do in Mission Canine, Bob." So I wanted to share that with you there.
Thank you, Katie Hill. I appreciate that. I see her name up there. Now I see that we've got chat going over here, and I can actually ask a question. I've been trying to stare at me so it doesn't look like I'm staring at you. So here we are, video chat.
You just do whatever feels comfortable. You're doing great.
Yeah. Well.
That works too. So when you mentioned that, the work that you do and the money that goes to the work, what is the work? What do you do on a day-to-day? What's behind the scenes?
Mission Canine Rescue brings military, contract, and other working dogs home from every corner of the world when they finish their service. Most people are not aware that military dogs that are owned by the federal government do not automatically get a free trip home if they're retired overseas. If their handler that has worked them wants to bring them home from a place like Japan, that's a $6,000 bill. And no corporal has that kind of money to spend on a dog. So through the good graces of our donors, it's very easy for us. We present a need. 3 dogs came home from Japan a few weeks ago. We got one home from Guam that was close to a $7,000 plane ride. Now, I will say this. The military has started to step up just a little bit for us. The military was euthanizing dogs until 2009 when a law called Robbie's Law was put out that stopped that practice. Now, these dogs, when they're retired, though, they're not considered soldier assets. They're considered equipment. And as such, they are at end of life and they are not eligible to take government transport. However, in 2016, then President Obama signed a portion of the National Defense Authorization Act that within it had a clause that required the military to bring working dogs home from overseas. Now, the military got around that by calling overseas FOB bases United States soil. And so that kind of, a little, iffy. We thought they'd kind of do something to get out of it. But now we've actually had them cooperate. We had 3 dogs that were brought to us from Japan the other day on a rotator flight that sends soldiers and equipment over, and they brought the dogs back. It doesn't always happen, but we can hope. We see dogs coming home from the Middle East. We fly them as escorts to where we can fly 2 dogs for every person, and it's about $1,600 a dog from a place like Kuwait. The other types of dogs we serve are contract working dogs. Contract working dogs do the same job. They receive the same training as the military dogs, except they're owned by private companies. And the problem you get into with that is that when a contractor suffers financially, the dogs are the first to suffer. We've had dogs come home from contractors that should weigh 70 pounds that weigh 35. Sometimes they just quit feeding them. And we're here for those dogs. We stand to serve them. And the police canine community is another huge sector. We receive requests to take in police canines on a weekly basis. And some of those we can accept, some we can't. We need to be able to adopt the dogs that we bring in. We are not a sanctuary. There is a sanctuary that operates, that does take the worst of the worst, the meanest of the meanest, and in some cases she turns them into little babies that'll lick right out of her hand. But some of them still want to eat her. While we're not a hospice, we do take in dogs that have risk factors because we do a complete rehabilitation program at our facility.
Wow, I just didn't realize all the behind the scenes that you don't see. I've shared with you before that my husband's military, and
Mhm.
he's military police, and he's not canine, but we have a lot of friends who are canine, and so I just didn't realize what happens when a dog retires overseas. And
Right.
you mentioning that is very eye-opening. And I shared earlier that at Boldly, we're a team of animal lovers. We
Mhm.
all really love our animals. We actually, our chief of happiness is an animal. He's part of our
Right.
team. And I feel like, as somebody who loves animals so much, I feel like in rescuing these dogs, you're rescuing a lot of people too. Can you share what it's like when a handler is finally reunited with their dog?
Oh, absolutely. We've seen some wonderful situations. One of the best reunions I recall is our one of our Marines that was military police, J.D. Varela. He's a Chicago native. He handled military working dog Attila. Attila did thousands of searches, vehicle searches, drug searches, you name it, he did it. And they hadn't seen each other in a couple of years. And the scene at Chicago Midway was just amazing. A dog screaming down toward the handler, and the handler going, woo, going after the dog. No, it was great. There's no question that even though it can take the dogs a minute sometimes, if they haven't seen the handler in 3 or 4 years, they recognize them, and there's a bond there. Some people want to know who decides who gets the dog, because a military dog can have up to 5 handlers. Normally, it is the handler that is working the dog when the dog is retired. Then it would be passed to the first handler, then the second. And people say, well, why wouldn't the handler take his dog? Small children, an aggressive bite trained dog that's trained for protection, that's toy crazy, doesn't work well with little children. So that's why in many cases they'll pass it to a secondary handler and then make arrangements to go and visit from time to time.
Oh, wow. Just hearing you say that was bringing tears to my eyes, just picturing it. And as a military spouse who has two dogs and has had them for 20 years while I've been married to my husband for this time, I can say too that even when you have a dog that's not going to bite, and that's a family friendly dog, it's very difficult in the military lifestyle to take your dog everywhere, to pay to take it
Right.
to Japan, to pay to take it when you're transferred to Hawaii, back to California, all of these things. And so that I can just relate to how that would happen, how you would offer it to the handler and they might not be able to take the
Well,
dog.
we also do what you just mentioned. We have a dog this week that the soldier and his family are PCSing. That's a permanent change of station for you non-military people, and they're going to Italy. Well, they have a retired working dog. Well, we're gonna send the working dog over for them because they can't afford it and they have to leave it, and we just can't let that happen.
That's that's amazing. We just got another comment that says, watching videos of dogs reunited with their military owners always makes me cry. Those are the best reunions. And
There's some good ones, Holly. That's for sure.
they're just so genuine, you know. Anyway, I won't talk about it too much because I will start tearing up just thinking about it. I have spent so much time apart from my dogs because of military moves. And I remember after a year and a half when they were finally able to get to us because we hired a transporter, how great that felt. So
Hmm.
um,
Right.
I would like to know though, Bob, what are some of your more immediate needs? Do you need volunteers, adopting families, space, equipment, kennels, or money for transportation or medical? What do you need?
Without sounding like every other nonprofit that's got its hand stuck out, it's the nature of a nonprofit organization to do this because we cannot operate without our donors and their funding. What do we need? We need everything. Just so you know, we operate on around $1.8 million a year. We need to effectively double the size of our facility. Um, I would, if $3 million a year total donation income would be awesome, and that is minuscule compared to organizations like ASPCA and another one that will remain nameless because I don't like them. I don't think they do a good job, even though no pets were harmed in the making of this production. Uh, they don't walk the walk, and that's a problem for me. We we always need transport funds. Just I personally I do a lot of Facebook advertising. That's something I'm specialized at for my credit card field. I raise nearly $900,000 a year just off individuals on Facebook. Individuals give donations. We need what we're looking for is some companies that would like to leave a legacy, that would like to support us in a little bit larger way and lend their name to our work. That's part of it. Otherwise, just making sure that there's not too much month at the end of the month. That's the main thing. But knowing that we are frugal and that we don't waste funds, I never feel bad when I ask. The worst we can say is not today, maybe next week.
Yeah, I think people who aren't as in it every day probably have no idea the amount of expense that goes
Oh
into
no.
transporting a dog and the medical care. And I always joke that I work to pay for my dogs, and that's not even a dog that needs medical care and rehabilitation and
Well,
training. And these
give you
things.
for instance, from Memorial Veterinary Care Clinic in Houston, Texas, where we get all our dogs, the majority of their work done, we've got about a $21,000 balance right now.
Wow.
So vet care is, even though we get discounts, I mean, we don't get free. I don't expect any veterinarian to work for free, and I kind of give people a strange look that think they should, just because it doesn't make sense. We appreciate, any discounts we can get, but we don't want them to work for nothing. And I would rather pay for the quality of care than get so-so iffy care from a third party that wasn't as credible.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So, Bob, before we conclude here, can you share with everyone where they can go to find out more information about
Sure.
Mission Canine if they want to get involved?
Absolutely. If you want to see the majority of our work and on an ongoing basis, we keep our Facebook page very updated. It's just simply Mission K9 on Facebook. If you want to look at cutesy videos and cry a little bit, go to Mission K9 on TikTok. Uh, I do have a Twitter account. Whether I use it or not depends on whether Elon buys it or not, and then he'll let me say what I need to. Otherwise, we tend to get shut down and fact checked when we're telling the truth on Twitter. So we couldn't have that. Also, our website missionk9rescue.org is where you would go to donate. You can also you can donate on Facebook or just about anywhere. We're Mission Canine Rescue on PayPal for those that are interested.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Bob. I'll put all those links in the comment section after this video. I wasn't aware you had a TikTok, so I'll be checking that out this afternoon.
I don't do the TikTok. Blair Baker, who is our amazing young talented little social media whiz, she loves TikTok. And in the last week she's got us 3,000 more followers on Facebook because of her TikTok videos. She does such a good job on.
Wow, that's amazing.
I called her yesterday. I said, "Where were you last year?" She said, "I know. I needed to be here." So it's been good to have a little help. Normally, I'm the one that does all the social, all the fundraising. It's development is my gig. If we make it, we make it. If we sink, it's my fault. My partners, by the way, let me talk about them for a second, because this is not about me. I simply keep the tracks greased so the train can drive. Kristen Maurer is our president. Louisa Kastner is our VP. They're both my co-founders. And I don't know how we picked the titles. We just picked them. I just go by the king of nothing. Also have a chief thank you officer title, so that helps too. But these ladies work sometimes 80 hours a week. They sleep at rest stops. They're not riding in leather chairs. They're not sitting in first class. They're not going to Olive Garden or the steakhouse every night. They're eating cheap and they're doing things the way they're supposed to be. I admire them. I wish I had the stamina they do to work the hours they do. In fact, I tell Kristen all the time, you have to slow down. It's not sustainable. She's working herself to death.
Well, 80 hours is certainly a lot. So I
A
hope
lot.
they take some time for themselves to
They
care.
don't. They don't, but hopefully they will soon.
Well, thank you so much again, Bob, for joining
Thank
me
you.
today, for sharing a little bit about the work that you do and the team that you work with. If anybody's interested in learning more about them, again, I'll put those links in the comment section. And if you're interested in learning more about Boldly and the things that we're doing as part of our 10th anniversary, be sure to follow us on Facebook because we'll be keeping all of you updated there. Thank you.
Devin, thank you very much, Devin. Nice to meet you. And thank you guys for doing this. It actually means a whole lot more. It means a lot more than I can tell you it does, because it enables us to help another dog, and that's wonderful. Thank you again.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
See you later. Bye-bye.